India is one of the world's most biodiverse countries where every geographical region hosts a diversity of ecoclimatic zones which in turn nourish their own unique ecosystems. We are visiting one such unique ecosystem of the coastal zones of India, which are known for its sand dunes, mangroves, and coral reefs. Do you know India hosts the top 2 mangroves of the world? Of course, many of us know Sundarbans as the first. How about the second? We are about to explore the world's second largest mangrove, Pichavaram in Tamilnadu. It is a small village near Chidambaram in Cuddalore district. It is located between the Vellar Estuary in the north and Coleroon or kollidam estuary in the south. Together they combine to form the Killai backwaters. We started our journey from Chennai in the early hours of the day around 5 am to avoid the city traffic. We drove through the scenic ECR and the Pallava capital Mamallapuram, also known as Mahabalipuram, and the Pondicherry city. The journey was a welcome change from the busy city life. Traveling on the neatly laid roads of ECR covered with greenery was really relaxing, and the intermittent backwaters added to the exotic atmosphere. To our good luck, we were spared from the scorching heat as it had rained in the last night and the whole day of the journey was cloudy. We reached Pondicherry during the office hours, which slowed down our driving time. The stretch between Cuddalore and Pichavaram was quite cumbersome as roads were being laid as part of the road expansions program. Hey, seems like an auto with Pondicherry registration. Meanwhile, let me share a few facts before we reach Pichavaram to enjoy the ride inside the mangrove forest. Many of us would remember the tsunami that struck the coastal Tamilnadu on the fateful day of December 26 in the year 2004. It led to the destruction of some parts of the mangrove forest as well. However, the forest acted as a bioshield, slowing down the full impact of the waves and thereby protecting the Irula tribe living in the hamlets near the mangrove. They suffered fewer human casualties and less damage to the property when compared to the other areas devastated by the tsunami. These Irula tribes paid their thanksgiving to the forest for saving their lives by planting millions of saplings and shifting to sustainable fishing. Very commendable, isn't it? Now we are very close to the forest.
Take the next right, then you will arrive at your destination.
As we entered, there was a charge of 100 rupees towards parking, which many tourists found as high. Hope the government would take note of the same and reduce it. Now we have entered the Pichavaram boat house. Pichavaram Mangrove extends across 1100 hectares or 11 square kilometer of reserved forest area featuring a mosaic of mangrove species, marshes and mud flats flanked by Vellar and Coleroon estuaries of the Kaveri Delta. While the Bay of Bengal is the source of sea water for the mangroves, the estuarine complex supplies fresh water. They are home to over 200 species of birds, prawns, oysters, turtles, fish and crabs. Mangroves span 51 islets separated by a web of waterways connecting the Vellar and Coleroon estuaries. Communities of 5 revenue villages depend on the fishery and forestry resources of the Pichavaram mangrove wetlands. We reached Pichavaram around 10 am and were among the first few people to visit the place. The place hosts the tourists from around the world. We find people waiting in queues before the TTDS office to board the boats. They offer 2 types of services, row boats and motorboats. We opted for the rowing boat and went around in a slow and relaxed pace, enjoying the exotic beauty of this place. We rode inside some really narrow canals where the boat seemed to be engulfed by the mangroves. If you are travelling from far off place, you may opt to stay in Chidambaram or Cuddalore, which are towns close by. Pondicherry is also another option for stay. They provide life jackets at the entrance for all the travellers. These are the motorboats, and these the rowing boats. Paddling through the dense jungle to explore the inner secrets of the forest, we enter into the stillness of an impenetrable world of the second largest mangroves of the world. We visited the non-seasonal month of July and hence couldn't spot any exotic birds which flock the place in the months of December to February. We will be seeing the pneumatophores, otherwise known as breathing roots. These portions of the root grow upward until they project some centimeters above the low tide level. They have small openings called lenticels in their bark so that air can reach the rest of the plant's root systems. We find many Killai trees that are the small, evergreen or deciduous unisexual trees exuding poisonous white latex from all broken surfaces. It grows on both muddy and stony soil with its roots spreading. It requires fresh water input for a large part of the year. Contact with the skin can cause irritation and rapid blistering. Contact with eyes would result in temporary blindness as well. A sort of traffic jam happening here. Let's wait and give way for the other boats as well. The locals inform that there are more than 400 water routes available here. The boatsmen in general are very jovial and well versed with the geography and share a good amount of geographical and biological information with us. They also show us the shooting spots of many of the Hollywood and Bollywood movies that were shot here. Please do sit back and enjoy the serenity of the place with the natural sounds. Silence pervades this region, barring the sounds of the oars of your boat. As we row our way deep inside the mangrove forest, it gets a bit eerie and spooky, like we would have seen in many of the Hollywood movies. Mangrove oysters line up at the roots, giving these a scary look at times. As you enjoy the serene beauty, let me share some of the facts and challenges of Pichavaram mangroves in the angle of environmental concerns. According to a study carried out by the Chennai-based M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation and Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, Pichavaram captures and holds a modest amount of carbon dioxide in the soil. According to the Coastal Systems Research at MSSR Foundation, mangrove wetlands are known to be the sinks or sources for greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Their study shows that Pichavaram mangroves acts as a modest carbon sink in the winter season and as a carbon source in the summer. A carbon sink is anything which absorbs significantly more carbon than it produces. Forest, ocean, and soil are all the natural carbon sinks which absorb carbon dioxide from the world around them. You may enjoy the panoramic view now. Overall, on visiting any such ecological spots, we find that human beings have caused a lot of damage to Mother Earth, and it is high time we realize this. As earlier mentioned in the video, wanted to share the fact that mangroves of Muthupet at Thiruvarur district of Tamilnadu are 10 times larger than Pichavaram by area of spread. Yet, Pichavaram is considered as the second largest due to the dense mangrove vegetation on account of the estuarial formation, while the former being a lagoon as the reason for less denser mangrove vegetation. If you like the content and the information of my video, please share and subscribe for my efforts to reach many more people. Thank you.